Well, that was certainly wild card playoff football at its finest, everybody. All right, let's just get in the games. Browns versus Texans. I've never been so happy to be wrong. This game started off as a shootout, and it got out of hand fast. Now, C.J. Stroud proved me wrong. I thought he was going to be a little shaky. He was freaking great. And thank God he was. But also, the Browns defense. How does this make any sense? They've allowed the least amount of points at home and the most in the league on the road. How does that even happen? I'm dumbfounded. But anyways, Joe Flacco realized that he's a freaking Raven at heart and helped the Texans win, eliminating the Browns. Texans are moving on. Chiefs-Dolphins. Okay, this game was the freaking worst game of the week. It was as bad as everyone thought it was going to be. The Chiefs just kind of rolled through them. The Dolphins got one fluke touchdown with Tyreek Hill, but that was it. And listen, I like Tua, but I would consider getting another quarterback because I think Tua is just okay. He's okay. But you guys have a freaking stacked offense, and I think he's holding you guys back. And it's like, you only got Tyreek for so many more years, so I maybe get a better quarterback there. That's just me, though. The Chiefs, their offense still looks shaky, but it was really cold out. I'll cut them some slack, but their defense still looks good, so, Packers versus Cowboys. Okay, this is unedited. This is going to be a long rant. Okay, so the Cowboys had the most embarrassing loss of this week. Not only did they lose to a 7th seed, not only did they lose to a team with the youngest roster in 50 years, but they lost and got outplayed by Joe Barry's defense. How could you do that? This was bad. The Cowboys just losing in general, the Packers, I say they lost 21-20, and it was a close game. That's embarrassing enough because they are a 7th seed. They are 9-8. They barely made the playoffs. You guys are 12-5. Haven't lost a home game since Tom Brady beat you in week 1 of last year. That's a long freaking time, guys. That was a year and a half ago, and you guys got smoked. Okay, so the Packers have good receivers. They have like Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. They're good receivers, but they're not like star receivers. And your corners got fucking toasted out there. Toasted. That was horrible, awful performance. And listen, I like Dak. This loss is partially on him, but not all of it's on him. But for a guy who played like MVP caliber level, you can't play like that. He played bad. You can look at the stats and say, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Dude, had 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks with 10 minutes left in the game when the score is 48-16. He had 200 yards in garbage yards and 2 touchdowns against the Packers' backup defense. He played bad, and he admitted he played bad. And it's like, he just he choked. It's no way around it. He couldn't find a receiver open. He couldn't make a play. He simply just choked, in the game. And, CeeDee Lamb as well. CeeDee Lamb, checked out. Even Micah Parsons, man. Micah Parsons, I was like, at least if, the Cowboys lose, he'll play good. Last year, they lost to the Niners, but the defense played great. Parsons played great. He played bad. And listen, I gotta say this. Mike McCarthy needs to be fired. There needs to be a change, because there's no way this team's done the same thing for the last 4 years, and they have made no changes. Jerry Jones, you stubborn, old, creepy zombie, you need to make a change to your team. And it has to be starting with the firing of Mike McCarthy. And in my opinion, this is just me, but you would have to consider drafting a QB in this draft. I'm not saying draft a QB in the first round. I'm saying draft one in the second or third round. Not get rid of Dak. I would keep him still, but let him sit behind Dak for at least a year and let him develop. That's just me, though. But, there's no progress, so I think you have another option. And fire McCarthy, and yeah. But now to get on the Packers. My God, they looked fucking great. Jordan Love, if there was any doubt on if he could be a franchise QB, this game put it to rest. He played so freaking good. And it's not like the pocket was clean, it was a good offensive line game. His best throws were him getting pressured and getting hit. And it was in fucking Dallas too. He played great, man. They got fucking 3 QBs, man. They got fucking 3 Hall of Fame. They're gonna have 3 Hall of Fame QBs in a row, man. That's not great. Aaron Jones also, I didn't know this. He has 9 touchdowns in the 3 games he's faced against Dallas. He averages 3 touchdowns against Dallas, which is nuts. And I joke about it, but Joe Barry actually called a pretty good game on the defense. I roasted him, but he actually called a pretty good game, so good for him. And the Packers are moving on, man, and they're hot, and they're playing with house money. And the Niners gotta be careful, because there's a chance the Packers could upset them. Rams Lions. Okay, it 4th time is the charm. It took us only 4 games to get a close game, and the game was pretty good. The ending was kind of boring, but it was overall a good game. And Matt Stafford is a freaking warrior. Dude got knocked out of the game twice, one of them being a late hit that should have been a penalty. And he still put up 370 and 2 tutties and was torching the Lions defense. Puka Nacua, he is so good at football, and he's going to be great for years to come. And he's like just so fun to watch play football. But at the end of the day, this game was for the Lions fans. And they did, and they won, and they were crying in the stands for winning a wildcard game. This team reminds me of the Bengals of 2022, where they got really emotional after a wildcard win and kind of just got to the Super Bowl. And this team kind of reminds me of that, but who knows? Bills, Steelers. Okay, I'll admit, this game was better than I said it was going to be. And you know what? Mason Rudolph, he played fine. He actually wasn't the reason they lost. Their defense was bad, but knowing TJ wasn't playing was the biggest sign that they were going to lose, and their defense was bad. Even so, the Bills let him back in the game, because the Bills always do this, but they pulled away with a late touchdown. The Bills can face the 1961 Houston Oilers and make it a competitive game. They just do this shit all the time, man. Please beat the Chiefs next week. Do not lose to them. Buccaneers, Eagles. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop. But man, oh man, the fucking Bucs are rolling on. Baker Mayfield was absolutely terrific. He had 303 yards. He should have 400 yards. Kate On and Mike Evans dropped a combined over 100 yards in like passes. Like that dude was on site that game. And it was a huge thanks to James Bradbury with his missed tackles and bad coverage too. And anyways, they won. And you know what? You told me like the 98 Bucs are gonna blow out the defending NFC champs Eagles in the wildcard round. You're crazy. But looking back the last 6 weeks, it's like, yeah, it's not that hard to believe. Like, they had a collapse, and going into this game, Jalen Hurts had a hurt hand, which was not a good sign. The defense, like, completely lost their identity and is burnt toast in the secondary. And they just took advantage of it, and it's like a team's no momentum. They lost their identity. Their quarterback's hurt. It's like, what are you going to do? You know? But anyways, happy for Baker Mayfield. Happy for the Bucs. 9-8. They're going to the divisional round. What a time to be alive. Okay, now to the games. Ravens, Texans. I'd be lying if I'm not nervous, because I'm very nervous. Our team on paper looks to be just to walk through these teams, right? Walk through like 10 points. But, you know, the Ravens are not simple like that, you know? Did you watch the game against the Titans in 2019? Because I did. And they were better on paper in every aspect of the game, and they lost. So nothing's simple with this team, and I expect nothing simple. But I'm going to say we win. And I'm going to say we win 27-24. With the Justin Tucker field goal, send the Ravens to the championship game. Niners-Packers. Okay, the Packers are freaking hot. But it's, no offense to Dallas, but they're more well-coached than McCarthy. Because McCarthy's kind of mid, and they had a bye week. And I think the Niners did a better job. But I do think Jordan Love's going to pop off, because I think he's going to fucking sling it. I don't think he's going to give a shit and sling it. But I say the Niners win 24-17. Maybe like a close game. Tampa Bay, Detroit. Okay, this is actually the funniest game ever. We're freaking getting Detroit versus Tampa Bay in a division round. One of these teams is going to the championship game. And it's with Baker Mayfield, not Tom Brady. Whew. Anyways, I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a really fun game. But I think the Lions will just win it because their run game is so effective, and their defense isn't the greatest, but I think they'll just waste time, score, and that's just the way they win, and they're home too. Their crowd's going to be electric. But I think Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and their ragtag group of wide receivers and Cade Otton, that man does not need 13 targets a game, Baker. But anyways, he's good, but you know. Anyways, I'll say Lions win 36-29. And the final game, Bills versus Chiefs. Oh, God. Not this game. I do not have a lot of faith in the Bills. They literally almost choked the Steelers last week. And they're home. They're favored, but they should win. If they chuck snowballs at Mahomes, then they have a better chance of winning. But it still makes me nervous. But I'm still going to take the Bills to win 20-17, and if I come back here next week and it's Chiefs Ravens in the championship game, I'm gonna throw a brick through the fucking window. Have a good day, everybody.